how can you delete rows that is unwanted in a typical report? Well, of course, you can highlight them and then use a shortcut, Excel shortcut, which is Control minus to remove it. That you can remove one. Now, if you do this only one time in a year, or that's all you need, use Control minus. You don't need to automate. Now, what if you have 50 worksheets? At each worksheet, you need to do this. Then the following video is part of the series of lessons. Okay, so then you need to watch. So let's just undo this by pressing Ctrl Z. Right, Ctrl Z to undo. So first thing is that we got to I'm actually showing you one of the several steps that in the full automation. So in order to do the automations, each worksheet need to be converted into a table. So at the moment, I'm showing you a manual way of converting to table. Right, when you come to the end of this series of lessons, you will learn how I can convert each of these this worksheet, this table here into a table very fast. I mean, automate it. So I have this already. Now I've just press Ctrl T to convert into Excel table. And in this scenario, right, we don't have a header. So the header is somewhere at row 14. So let's just click OK. So my table has header, uncheck this. Make sure you uncheck that, right? Click OK. Alright, so this is the table. You can give it a name. And now we headed to the data tab. And you click on the get and transform data. And I click on from table range. Okay, welcome to Power Query Editor. Now we're going to remove the first 13 rows using Power Query. So how to do that? Well, go over to remove rows under the home tab, remove rows, and click remove top rows. Remove top rows and just key in 13 rows. Click OK and look at that. Now the M language of remove rows is called table.skip. The change type is a step that in the previous step here. Okay, and then 13 is the 13 row, so on top of it. So let's just cross this just by clicking on that step here and then cross this again. Now what if I want to remove the last 4 rows? How to do that? I can go to remove rows and click on remove bottom rows. Let's just put 4 here. Click OK and that's it. So to remove the last 4 rows, we don't use skip, we use remove last n. And the step is source, which is the previous step, remove from the last 4 rows. Last 4 rows is using last n, remove last n. Alright, let's just close this again. Remove the step. Go to remove top rows, enter 13. Okay, it makes more take more sense, right? Just to remove the top 13 rows. And now, how do we turn this first row as a header? Because now it's a column one, two, three, four, right? So how to do that? We'll go to use first row as headers. It's right here. Home, use first row as header. So when I click on this, now notice that in the left hand side here, apply step, it will insert one more step. Look at that. In fact, there are a few steps here as well. Alright, so it now promoted to on the top. Now this is the step called promote headers. Table.promote headers. These are the step, the previous step, and yeah. Let's come over here. This is to change the type as the step name change means so. So it's actually basically change the date. You can see that it will change it to a date type and confirm that as the date. But you can manually change here to just dates will do as well. Okay, and just press enter. See, it works as well. Okay, if you don't need some of the column, you can choose the column, right click, remove, and that is called table.remove columns. And we just remove the column number 5 right from the change type step. Okay, so that is how you turn this table, right? How do you remove the top rows? And now we go to home, close and load, and we'll load it into a new table right here. Okay, so if I change here to LCY TTT, so how do I make a change here? But do I need to redo this? The answer is no. You just need to right click, choose refresh, and that's it. Right? So to remove just one worksheet of several rows, you can really just delete it manually. If we're talking about many worksheets, and you got to do it quite frequent, I mean weekly or even daily, then this is a very time consuming task. So you can use Power Query to automate, and this is just the first lessons on how to automate it. Now, what is the result of learning or picking this skill? Well, just recently, I helped a student to achieve this using the technique I show you. Some of the technique. You haven't watched the other video. Well, let's go over here. This is what my student wrote to me right on the October 6th. Hi Ken, I attended Ken Lau training course Microsoft Excel training on 5th of 6th. Today I'm asking him to a better way consolidate, rather I manual copy and paste one by one worksheet into one file. So what does that mean? One by one worksheet into one file. Well, this is like this. These are fictitious data, but the idea is like that. Okay, so there are many worksheets. So each worksheet has a similar, it has exactly number of columns. It's the same. It's just that it's on a different category. So you can see that here. And there are many, over 50 worksheets. So each of the worksheets required to delete those rows. So how to do this? Manually, yeah, you can. So that is what it means manually copy and paste one by one worksheet into one file. So thank you for helping me to way to solve my report, consolidate multiple worksheet to one file. Okay, so um after my 5 years research on Power BI and Power BI, Power Query, that's why I'm able to consult in 30 minutes. I'm able to help her to reduce a 2 hour task to less than 1 second. Okay, uh, the person is the operations admin, yeah, uh, of a company. So I hope this give you some ideas how you can automate your tasks. This is just the first lesson. So stay tuned, watch the next lesson soon in my e-latte premium course. Thank you. So perhaps it's good that we do a recap, right? So first you turn the data into an Excel table. So you highlight the list and you press Ctrl T, turn into an Excel table, go to data tab, make sure you use the from table range. And now we're using based on the same data set, right? And you have this. Now this step, sometimes you need, sometimes you don't, right? Like example like this, right? We don't need to change the type for each column because it's column 1, 2, 3. So just ignore it. So just cross that step. That means remove the step. So we have the source loaded into Power Query, and today we'll just look at the Home tab. The Home tab. Okay, so how do you remove the top 13 rows? Click to remove rows and remove the top rows. So just put in 13, click OK, and that's it. And then next is you click on use first rows as header. Okay, they are right, so you don't need to change the type. Well, right, depends, right? If you want to have a stack, you can. Then I actually go over here, change the code. Change this M language. It's called M language. I'm gonna change it to date. Okay, and just press over the bottom and enter, so you can see that it's right there. And if I don't need the column, I just select the column and right click, choose remove the column. Oh, so alright, if you don't want others column as well. So basically you learn 3 essential M language. First is the table.skip, then the second is table.promote headers, and the last one is table.remove columns. So these are the 3 operations that you can automate. Removing the top, okay, skip, using skip, promote the header, the first row to that is called this, and then you have remove columns. So there are many others M language. So this course is driven to achieve one purpose, which is to help you to consolidate this kind of data fast. There are many ways. You can also do like not necessary to use first row as header. You can also use header as first row. So that means like moving the header as a first row. So let's just click on it here. One, see that? See what happens, right? So it's a step right here. See, it's called demote header. So demote header, promote header. So back to the normal is demote header. Okay, so if you don't need the step, cross it, delete it. So just as you learned earlier, that you come to this step here, you can actually go to say remove the bottom rows and remove alternate rows. There are many others items you can use. So finally, you go to home and click close and load. So close and load has two options as well, right? One is that you can specifically say I want to load it to which worksheet. Otherwise, if you use close and load, it will be default to create a new worksheet and load the result into a new worksheet. Yes, and that is how you use Power Query at its simplest form. This is part of the series. Thanks for watching.